Stand clear.
100% Wild Podcast.
So for all you listeners,
Hello, and welcome to
definitely not your favorite outdoor podcast.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Dreary Outdoors 100% Wild Podcast. This is another special fan episode, 100% fan driven, also driven by DeerCast.
You're Tim Chelsvik.
You are my number one fan, Matt Drury. Why are you laughing?
What's this guy's deal?
Hold on.
I don't think so, Tim.
Right. I got no fans.
No, your wife, I'm sure. Your kids. At least the kids.
Yeah, you know.
That's why we have them. So somebody likes us.
So someone looks up to us, at least while they're small.
Yeah.
Bo wanted to shoot his bow last night in the backyard. And his thing is, it's kind of sweet. It's kind of a hassle. He refuses to shoot unless I shoot with him.
I feel your pain.
So that's what we did last night.
What does he shoot, though? What bow does he shoot?
He's got a little Barnett. It's called a little Banshee.
Yeah.
It's just a stick and
appropriate
string.
for that kid.
Exactly. He is
He's
hell
a
on
little
wheels.
Banshee.
Like, he needs supervision if he's going to be out there with his bow. Otherwise, neighborhood cats are getting it, and birds and the swing set. And he's just that kind of kid.
Sophie, run like hell.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, Soph, stand still.
Yeah, so we just got Cameron the Matthews Genesis bow. It's the bow that they use in NASP, I believe. And it's the one that we got. I guess it adjusts from 10 to 20 pounds. And when it comes to you, or at least this one, it felt like it was set at 20. So he couldn't pull it back. So we cranked it down. And now he could pull it back, but like the arrow doesn't have enough oomph behind it to stick into the morel target. I was having him shoot at the bag target because it's bigger.
Sure.
And it just bounces off of it. And we're standing like 5-10 feet away from it. And I'm like, all right, let's stand back a little bit further so we don't get hit with our own arrow.
Yeah, like a Ralphie from the Christmas Story.
Yeah, but when he shoots, we're so close to the target. So like you said, that's the kind of the hassle part of it because you're not shooting.
Yeah. So when it was set at 30 pounds, you said we couldn't pull it back.
No, I said he.
Okay. All right. Good.
Rascal.
Just wanted to clarify. Speaking of rascals. So I've got a little list here to introduce our guest. So family man, big buck killer, rugged, chiseled, a gifted musician. Kenny Jones, what other words would you use to describe me?
This guy.
Oh,
What's up, Kenny?
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
You thought he was talking about you.
No,
Dead
not for a
wrong.
minute. I knew he was talking about himself.
That's all he does around here.
I'm my number one fan. There we go. So
Exactly.
Ken, you're coming to us from West Virginia, right? Not regular Virginia.
Right, West Virginia. Yes, sir. Kaiser, West Virginia.
I could have picked up on that because you have an accent that sounds just like Chris Ward and Eric Hale. They were two of our team members for a long time, and they were a couple of Virginia boys, and you sound just like Chris did. So it's like a very distinct. It always amazes me, like how you could kind of pick up on what part of the country people are from.
Yeah.
Minnesota,
Yeah. Wisconsin, they're drinking milk from a
right.
bag.
That's right.
So Kenny, so to us, you have an accent, and unfortunately, like the Southern accent is one that people always try to mimic. I do it myself. Do you ever try to mimic like our accent?
Actually, we bear hunted a lot in like Maine, so those guys up there don't really pronounce their R's very good. So if they say like the dogs are barking, they say the dogs are backing.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
a lot of times I'll say something like that, mimicking them, making jokes at them because everybody picks on Southern boys' accent.
yeah,
or country boys'
unfortunately.
accent.
Up there, khakis are what they use to start their vehicles with.
What? Do elaborate.
Khakis.
I know what they are.
Yeah, I can't find my khakis.
Okay.
Oh, that's good.
So
The best
horrible.
jokes are the ones that you have to explain.
That's
I
horrible.
say.
I mean, I did laugh. Guess I'm horrible.
Okay. So, Kenny, I'm curious, what made you decide to audition for being a guest on the, because you're our second guest, by the way.
Okay. Well, what made me audition is I come from a small town. I mean, I graduated with 18 kids in my graduating class. So a lot of people don't chase their dreams. And I feel like when you have a passion for something, I don't want to be 70 years old and look back and go, man, I really wish I would have tried to do more. So if I see an opportunity, I try to go after it.
Mm-hmm. I think someday there's gonna be a lot of people who are turning 70 saying, I never got on the 100% Wild podcast. And I deeply regret that.
I think they're actually going to say, you know what? I never looked up from my phone.
That's very true. Yes.
All those dinners, all that time spent with my wife, I was actually just nose deep in a tablet.
It's a problem.
Kenny, I want to know, out of 18, where'd you graduate? What number?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I told my wife for a long time, because she's not from where I'm from, and I would tell her that I was in the top 10. And she's like, wow, that's impressive. I'm like, yep, that's just kind of how it is.
Maybe
and
we
then
can
somebody
be
told her, I
friends.
think it was my mom, said, Kenny, there was 18 kids in your graduating class. I was like, my wife kind of gave me that look like,
hey, I think that's a pretty good, top 10. That's fancy.
I mean, you did it in 4 years, right?
Right.
Well, I mean,
there was no hold back close years, but nothing held me back.
Right. So what do you do for a living?
I'm a physical therapist assistant by trade, and I personal train people on the side. And I recently just got a job as a strength and conditioning coach here at a junior college near where I live.
Okay, hey, awesome. So last year you were on a hot streak during the hunting season. And were you hunting what all states? Because I know you were in Kentucky, right, for a little bit?
Yes, sir. I was in Kentucky, and then I hunted in Ohio.
So you killed a gross boon with a crossbow.
Yes.
That's,
with the crossbow.
Well, hey, I'd take that over anything, frankly.
Most deer I shoot.
Yeah, that's right.
Same here.
So tell us a little bit about that leading into that. Did you know the deer? Is it a property you hunted a lot? Was it an outfitter? Like what's the story here?
Okay, so I've had that lease for about 5 years now. And I had some history with the buck. 3 years before this would have been an 18. He got around me. I was trying to sell film, and anybody that has sell filmed, it can be very trying at times. So he ended up getting around me. I never got another shot at him at daylight because I couldn't get the camera on him. By the time I got the camera on him, the footage wasn't going to be good, and he actually made it around me. It was during the rut. So the next year, let's fast forward to 19. I seen him one time, but it was so dark the footage wasn't going to be good. And I'm real conscious about trying to get good footage. If I'm going to kill the biggest deer in my life, I want it to be good footage. Mm-hmm. And so it was real grainy, real dark. So obviously didn't take the shot. And then it brought us into the next year, and he had grown as big as he'd ever been. And I was guessing him to be high 60s. I didn't see a lot of the junk he has off the back of his horns. And just following DeerCast, I had limited time to hunt, which I think you guys can relate with kids. With work, kids, and everything going on, it was like, I got to pick great days to be there, and hearing Mark and Terry talk a lot about in and around that full moon, and then watching DeerCast, I had a bunch of okay days, and then I had a good and a great day. So I called off work those days, kind of went all in on that weekend.
You were sick? Did you tell him you were sick, or what'd you tell him when you called in? Like, hey, I got a great DeerCast. I
had buck fever.
Okay. That's legit.
And so I got up there, and honestly, I killed him the first day I was there.
Wow.
So it was a blessing, not to be out hunting him all year and trying to find time and running back and forth. It's a 4-hour commute to my lease from my house.
Jeez.
So that's why DeerCast is so important. I've learned over those last few years of hunting those big bucks like that, you want to hunt fewer days, but better days, rather than just getting in there. I got a week, let me hunt. I've had way more success following DeerCast and following those good to great days.
Yeah, that whole just log in time in the stand to log it. And sometimes it pans out, but when you're hunting mature bucks, it's really you really do some damage.
I have a couple comments on a few things he said here. So first of all, he said that he was waiting, if he's going to kill the biggest deer of his life, he's going to wait till the footage was right. So he has more fortitude than most of our team members, and specifically Kyle Lamore, who killed the biggest deer of his life at the time off camera.
No cameras.
So I'm calling people out.
He's not going to hear it, so do whatever you want to do.
That's really all I had to say. And I forget what point number 2 was, but I really wanted
There are other points.
I really wanted to make a point of point number 1.
Another thing, Kyle Lamore sucks. What do you think about that?
We know he doesn't listen, so it's okay.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. So then what are you doing with your footage? If you're that concerned about making sure it's quality, what are you doing with it afterwards?
Just trying to make it on the juries. That's the dream. And I've been filming and I've been working hard and trying to do my best to just make myself an asset. And I think that comes down to producing good footage and being determined. I believe in a world where a work ethic is still attractive. So
you got that right.
Is that Hunt on YouTube?
Yes. I made a highlight reel and I actually just uploaded it to YouTube not long ago. So yeah.
Kenny sent me the link here in the off season and a lot of great stuff because he killed another deer on camera too last year, correct?
Yes, sir. That was the Kentucky deer. And again, prime example, I waited down there, stayed. It was actually like 2 weeks later. It was November 7th. And same deal. 3 or 4 okay days. Weather was a little warm. And then I had and there was an hour of great. And I'm not just saying this, right at that hour of great. Coincidence, maybe. But that's when the deer came walking up through there. It was like 4 o'clock.
Bam.
Kenny's fixing to be on the team. Saying all the right things.
It could be the Southern accent. Maybe if you tried faking a Midwestern accent,
you'd already been on the team.
It could work. Just saying.
No.
Oh no, everybody.
No, that's definitely not it. Because we've had a bunch of Southern boys through time, and I mean,
Louis Payne.
Louis Payne's the best.
He sounds like
Louis Payne is my all-time favorite accent of any castman we've ever had.
In his mouth.
No, don't. Hey, hold on.
I love Louis.
Damn it.
But y'all don't say that.
Louis is the best. He's got a Southern drawl.
Oh, he's got a drawl.
He's Louisville. Everybody from Kentucky says I can't pronounce Louisville the way people from Kentucky pronounce it.
There's 4 O's in it.
Louisville. We had a guy by the name of Stephen Parker that worked for us. He was an editor for a long time, and he was from that area. And I loved hearing the guy talk.
I wish I had a Southern accent.
I wish I had anything going for me.
You've got a St. Louis accent.
Harsh.
Yeah, party 4. Every now and again it comes out. So, Kenny, what questions might you have for us?
Why am I not on the team?
Yes. What more do I got to do?
Yeah, what do I got to do? No. One of the questions that I think that I've never heard, and obviously I'm a follower of 100% podcast and listening to it, was, this is for Matt. I actually have 2 questions. One's for Matt, one's for Tim. The first question for Matt was going to be, was there ever a particular moment in your life? Now, this is going back when you were a kid, so we're going way back there. And is there ever a moment when you seen Mark and Terry show their work ethic and you were like, man, these guys are just different. Like, these guys won't be denied. These guys will not take no for an answer. Because I'm sure there's been negativity, right? When you're trying to do something or whatever, there's always those people. But I wonder if there was ever a particular moment as a kid that stuck out to you where you were like, these guys are just different and they're going to be successful one way or another.
Growing up, honestly, there wasn't any one thing because everything, they had the same work ethic. And I didn't see Mark as much, growing up, as obviously his dad was around, but, Grandpa, their father, and then the both of them, I don't think there was ever an option of any other kind of work ethic because all we ever knew was, my grandpa was a construction guy, laborer, that's kind of the mentality. It's a blue collar mentality going in, and he built a hell of a business with his brother. And I think Mark and Terry saw that, from an early age, and they didn't know any other way. And Dad, of course, he worked for my grandpa's construction company. And he always talks about his union card was vested by the time he was like 12 or 13 or something. It was crazy. Like, he had worked there forever, so all I ever knew was that they worked their butts off, and the same was expected of of me. You know, that's how I felt about it. And so it wasn't really something any one day or any one moment. It was just every moment put together. Like these guys worked their butts off, and we would always see it. Like our family was really close, especially back then. A lot of gatherings and family get-togethers, and a lot of us still lived in that Bloomsdale area, which is a town of probably, like you're talking about, it was a town of 400 people. So we were always getting together and having release parties for the new VHS titles and watch parties and stuff like that. And so anytime we'd get together, they were practicing their on-camera delivery, like kind of like messing around and joking around, but they were practicing.
There?
Yeah, that was the line. It was, hello. Like that was, they kept saying that over and over, like their first entryway into filming. And it was like, okay, how do we introduce ourselves? And they'd practice it over and over and over again. Yeah. Like that's the kind of stuff I remember as far as work ethic goes. Like back in the day, they weren't great on camera, so they'd practice it over and over and over. And editing wasn't as easy as it is now. So like, they'd have to do it in one take. So it would take a billion. Think about how many times that we'll re-say something real quick and we redo a line. And it's not a big deal because the editors fix it. The editors fix all of our problems. Yeah. But back then you'd have to do it in one take, and they would do it over and over and over. So I saw that work ethic as far as how it pertains to Jury Outdoors. I saw it early on. Yeah. Good question.
Thank you.
All right, what do you got for Tim?
All right, Tim, you marathon running man.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Double M.
So how do you stay on your workout schedule during hunting season? And how do you maintain that kind of pace with balancing work, with balancing family, with balancing trying to get to the tree stand? What do you think is like the best thing or tips that you give or you do?
The first thing is performance enhancing drugs, anabolic steroids.
Duh.
Horse medications, really all that stuff.
All right, well, the cat's out of the bag.
Yeah, there we go.
It doesn't look like this. I mean, this isn't natural.
It's completely unnatural. No, so I'll typically at lunchtime here at the studio, I'll take off and hit the gym or try to get my miles in. So try to work something in during the day. And then it's like usually I'm doing a second workout. It's either early in the morning or late at night after the kids go to bed, because when I get home, I want to make sure that I'm engaging with them, spending time with them. Same thing on the weekends and stuff. Like I really try to, when I'm home, I'm focused on the kids. They're not a second thought, which means that I'm always putting my stuff off until after or before bed, after bedtime, before they wake up in the morning. So it's a lot of early mornings, late nights. And I always feel like if I let off the gas in that aspect of my life during hunting season, I'm going to have that deeper of a hole to dig out of once hunting season is over. So there's going to be a reckoning. And I'm just too lazy to want to dig out of a hole like that. So I find it easier to maintain than to get kind of behind on that.
That's currently where I'm at.
It's tough. It is so tough.
Yeah.
It's really demotivating. So yeah, it's really just kind of fitting it into everything else. And there's always excuses like too tired. The house is a mess. I don't want to work out. I don't want to go to the gym or whatever. But I just try to do things that I don't necessarily feel like doing, but I know I need to do.
Nice.
So,
we just become best friends. Yep.
We're living the same life.
You and Kenny.
I'm just going to say this on here. Matt's little clips are probably the best when he hits those voices. That's one of my favorite things. I'm not just saying.
Thank you.
A lot of people say that. And a lot of the guys that join the Rack Pack, they also think that Matt is the most handsome between the both of us. So
I mean, is it really a competition?
I mean, if you are proud about being adored by other men, then I think
that's always the running joke. Like we never have fans that are hot chicks. We always have fans that are dudes. Great industry to be in. Glad to be a celebrity in this industry.
All the recognition.
Yeah. So
I was going to say we might have broke history today. We might be the first outdoor podcast to all have product in our hair rather than wearing hats.
We're gonna have to cut
that. Yeah.
Don't brag about that.
One of us has parasites in their hair. Can you guess which?
Lice? You?
Well, you ever heard of scabies?
Yeah.
Okay.
Moving on.
Okay, so that is That is Kenny's, one of his favorite things about the podcast is the soundboard. And I have to agree. Between the three entities that host this show, you, me, the soundboard.
That could be a country song.
You,
me, and the soundboard.
better than the three entities.
Better than you singing Seminole Wind.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. I thought he did all right on Seminole Wind.
Kenny, quit sucking up.
Kenny's a music man.
Yeah.
Kenny's
you guys
got a
are
band.
probably, yeah, he's a few steps above you in the professional ranks, I guess, because he's playing music in front of people
that want to be there. He's not subjecting people to it. So what do you guys play in your band, and where do you play?
I actually don't travel anymore. I used to travel and was a Nashville recording artist for several years, but with the family life and everything, it was just way too hard for me. And one thing I'll say is I respect you guys so much is you guys seem like great dads. And that's what I want to be. I want to be a great dad. And when I was putting my kids to bed on a Friday and leaving for a couple of days, it just really started wearing on me, and just really lost the heart and the passion for it. Yeah. You know, I still play around campfires and little things around town. If somebody needs a benefit or something, I'll do it at church. But as far as going out and playing, like I got to open up for, thanks to people. David Lee Murphy was one.
Cool. Party crowd.
Chris Jansen, several good people I got to open up for, but I just lost the passion for it with my kids and everything. So.
Damn kids. Ruin our lives. Enrich them.
Did I say ruin? I meant enrich.
Yeah, we're great dads.
It's called a Freudian slip, I think. And we all have seasons to our lives. You know, there are some things that
I'm in the late season.
Just don't fit. Rolling into January.
Very tired, Tim.
Tired and run down from the rut.
Sorry, didn't mean to cut you out.
There never was a rut, was there?
No, it was a trickle.
Kenny, well, we appreciate you hopping on.
A lot of warm temps.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, continue.
I was going to say thank you. I appreciate you watching. Appreciate you being a cheerleader for the show and for DeerCast and everything like that.
Yeah, it's been cool to continue to watch the evolution there, and look forward to seeing what you knock down this fall, and keep in touch, and hopefully you're sitting behind a big buck again this year.
Hey, thank you guys so much for having me on. This has been a check off the bucket list, and I greatly appreciate your guys' time.
I'd like to see the rest of that list.
God, it makes me sad.
Like, damn, man, we could have done this years ago with you if you wanted to get it up.
You could be the host. I don't care. Whatever.
I'm done with this dang thing. Like, it's yours.
I got spreadsheets to work on.
TPS reports and all.
That'd be great. All right, Kenny, thanks for hopping on, buddy. If anyone watching right now or listening wants to be considered for a guest spot on the show, just click the link in the show notes and fill out the questionnaire, and then submit a short 30-second video explaining why you think you would be a great guest for the show. We'll review it, and maybe you'll get on, maybe you won't. If you won't, we'll just use the video to make fun of you in the studio.
And in general, I'd like to hear your feedback in the comments to see what you think about these episodes. If you're liking them, if you're not liking them.
Still an experiment.
Yeah, for sure. So we'd love to get the feedback from the audience. And if
Kenny's feedback doesn't count. You can't.
Kenny's like, I don't know about you guys, but this episode was fire.
Absolutely. This is going to be trending on Google here very shortly.
Hey, if you could get our views and listens up, I'm all for it.
Boom.
Okay. So. I got you.
All right, cool.
All right, thanks, Kenny. Thanks, everybody.
Until next time, peace out.
All right, fella, thanks.
DeerCast is now supercharged with maps. Get ahead of your game with killer new features like live Doppler radar, wind check out to 5 days, virtual rain gauges, GPS path tracking, and more. Plus, get our 14-day revolutionary DeerCast prediction and access to DeerCast Track. Prep, predict, and pursue with DeerCast.
We're adding new videos every week, so make sure to click that subscribe button and check out all of our amazing content. This episode of DOD TV was brought to you by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's.